Have you ever had that gnawing feeling deep in your gut, the one that whispers, something's not right? That's where I was in the early 2000s. My wife was smiling to my face, kissing me goodnight, but driving nearly 400 miles a week just to meet another man in a dumpy motel. She thought she was smart. She thought I'd never catch on. But what she didn't know was that I wasn't just planning to end our marriage. I was planning to burn her lover's entire life to the ground. If you've ever dreamed of seeing karma come full circle on someone who betrayed you, hit that like button right now. Subscribe and stick around because this story isn't just about cheating. It's about justice, revenge, and the kind of downfall you only see in movies. Back in the early 2000s, life seemed normal. My wife and I had two kids, 4 and 6 years old. I worked full-time. She worked part-time. To the outside world, we looked like your average young family. But then the kids started talking. Kids don't lie, they babble, they overshare, and they kept mentioning how often they were staying with grandma and grandpa. Now her parents lived 90 minutes away. That's not a quick drop-off. Yet somehow my wife was managing to take them there too, sometimes 3 times a week, on the days she wasn't working. At first I brushed it off. Maybe she just wanted extra help, but something felt off. That gut feeling, that itch you can't scratch. So I asked her casually, "Hey, why are the kids at your parents' so often?" She smiled, shrugged, and said, "Oh, they just love spending time with them." But her eyes darted, her voice cracked, and let me tell you, she was never a good liar. That's when suspicion turned into certainty. I started small, nothing dramatic, just checking her car's mileage. Every week I wrote down the odometer reading, and week after week she was racking up hundreds of unexplained miles. 400 extra miles. Where was she really going? Then fate handed me a gift. One afternoon I sat down at the family computer. There on the desk was a sticky note, written in her handwriting clear as day, her AOL password. My heart pounded, my hands shook. I knew this was crossing a line, but if she was lying to me, I deserved the truth. I logged in. And what I found? Emails. Exchanges between her and her college best friend. Emails where she bragged about hooking up with an ex-boyfriend from high school. She even mocked his wife, calling her fat after having kids. I printed every single email. Each sheet felt like a dagger, but I wasn't done yet. I needed proof. Concrete, undeniable proof. I reached out to a friend who was a cop. He referred me to a private investigator. Let's call him Ron. Ron was worth every penny. I gave him the emails and timelines. Within weeks, he had her entire routine mapped out. Hear what she was doing. Drop the kids at her parents' house. Meet the guy, let's call him Bob, for lunch. Then off to a dingy motel for hours. Afterward, she'd swing by her parents, collect the kids, and drive home like nothing happened. And Ron didn't just tell me. He gave me photos, dates, times. There it was, the truth, in black and white. My wife wasn't just cheating. She was living a double life. For me, this wasn't just about betrayal. Both my parents had cheated on each other. The fallout wrecked my childhood, tore apart my family, and left scars I still carry. I swore I'd never let my kids live through that chaos. So I hired a divorce lawyer. But I wasn't finished, because I wanted to know exactly who Bob was. Ron dug deeper. Turns out Bob was married, 3 kids, vice president of sales at his father-in-law's company, living in a house owned by his wife's parents. I had my lawyer draft the divorce papers, but I also asked Ron for a few extra copies of his report. Then I set the stage. On the same day my wife was served divorce papers at her job, Ron delivered a little package to Bob's wife. Photos, reports, everything. I didn't know how she'd react. That was up to her. But I wasn't about to let Bob keep living his double life without consequences. And oh, did consequences come. Bob's wife didn't just kick him out, she scorched the earth. She drained their joint accounts, took the kids, filed for divorce. When her father, Bob's boss, found out, Bob was fired. And since her parents owned their house, Bob was evicted too. It got uglier. According to public court records, things spiraled out of control. Bob tried to confront his wife. Her brother stepped in and broke his nose. Police were called. Restraining orders followed. Criminal charges, jail time. The man lost his family, his job, his home, his reputation, everything. All because he couldn't keep it in his pants. As for me, the divorce went through. The cheating didn't matter much legally, but I had all the custody and support arrangements set up cleanly. My ex and I got along just enough to co-parent. I never engaged with her about anything else, and when the kids grew up, I cut ties completely. I don't hate her, she's still their mom, but to me, she's just a chapter that's closed. Bob, on the other hand, last I heard, he left the state, disappeared. His ex-wife did great. She eventually took over her dad's company. Karma doesn't always work fast, but when it hits hard. She thought I'd never find out. He thought he could juggle two lives forever. Instead, she lost me and he lost everything. And the best part, I never had to raise my voice, throw a punch, or even argue. I just let the truth do all the work. Cheating isn't just betrayal, it's arrogance. It's believing you're smarter than everyone else, that you won't get caught, and that the people who love you don't deserve honesty. But eventually, arrogance always collapses under its own weight. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Do you think the revenge went far enough, or was it too much? And don't forget to subscribe, because I've got plenty more stories where karma strikes back harder than anyone expected.